Court. Shazia Ilmi, if we were to look at some data here, from 60% in UPA to 95% in NDA, there has been a surge in share of opposition leaders in CBI net. And under the BJP-led NDA, in the last 8 years, most of these arrests include the opposition leaders. That is about the CBI. As per the ED, there has been a 4-fold jump in ED cases against politicians. 95% are from opposition. Is this mere coincidence?
Well, let me tell you a few facts also, and about the ED and investigation, and also the fact that it was during UPA 2 that there was an entire anti-corruption movement in the country, and at that point of time, every ministry and every department of the then dispensation was charged with graft. So much so that it was lawyers like Prashant Bhushan and also people seeking moving PIS like Subramaniam Swamy and others who actually moved on these matters, the court. So those are well-established facts. The graft of whether it's Lalu Prasad Yadav or its various camps of other governments are well known. It is also a fact that it is the case against Mulayam Singh Yadav, which opened during UPA 2's time, was actually closed by this government because a lot of people feel and that there was not enough evidence. So the fact of the matter is that all the charges, whether it's Lalu Prasad Yadav or one, but I also want to tell you about some data before I take on Miss Kavitha ji, who's being accused of being the queen pin. While she answered many questions, she could not answer her relationship to Aurobindo Pharma. She could not answer why her MLA and her private assistant met Vijay Nair from Aam Aadmi Party. She also could not answer why so many licenses for retailing liquor
yes, Karthik, I can.
were given out.
I'm coming to you.
So those are the questions. So the fact of the matter is, if you indulge in corruption...
Okay, let me ask the Congress first before I bring in Karthik Reddy. Sujata Paul, which side of the debate is the Congress standing here particularly, because you have questioned the Aam Aadmi Party repeatedly?
As far as this matter is concerned, I don't think Ms. K Kavitha should run away from the Enforcement Directorate, because Manish Sisodia has been arrested today. And if her company, and this is a company where it is believed that 65% of the stakes are held by her through proxies, and if this allegation of 100 crores of kickbacks has come up, then there's no problem in answering questions of this ED, right? Now, when you talk about this liquor policy, if you look at what is happening, and you've already spoken about the South cartelization in which her name has come, we must also look at the kind of profits that they've got. Profits of what? Profits of 330.12 rupees per bottle. I mean, like, this is the retailer's margin, which is obviously going to her company as well for all the, for all the supplies that she's making.
So you are saying that there has been no misuse of agencies, because you are also not one of the signatories in this letter that was sent by the opposition parties to the Prime Minister.
No, what I am saying is that when you talk about investigation, didn't Mrs. Sonia Gandhi appear before the Enforcement Directorate? She did. Okay. Whenever she was called, she did appear. So Ms. Kavitha should go and answer all these answers that she's giving to you on the program.
Yes, fine enough.
Yes.
Karthik Reddy, so if Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, who were questioned by the investigating agencies, can appear before it, although they made a lot of tried to make it a political story with all those protests, then why should BRS have objection? Let it be seen as coming clean.
Good evening, Maria. See, firstly, nobody is running away from these agencies. Kavitha has manned up, has landed in Delhi. She openly proclaimed that she would attend the date given by the ED. Firstly, Maria, let me sympathize with Congress Party. I pity them. Today they are behaving like the BJP's B team. It is sad that on one side, Congress Party hues and cries that the agencies are misused. Their own leaders have been put through this. On the day when Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi were called by CBI or the ED regarding the National Herald case, our leaders stood in empathetic position with the Congress party. And now, when the BJP is lets loose the CBI, ED, and the other agencies on the regional parties, the Congress party behaves like the B team of the BJP. I sympathize with them. I really pity what is the stand they're taking. And another point, see, Maria, it is very easy for the BJP spokespersons or the people sitting in high positions in BJP, especially in the government, to point a finger and say, see, there has been certain corruption. The problem today in the country is BJP is behaving like the judge, jury, and the executioner. In a situation like this, there is no way that the other opposition parties has any way to prove them wrong.
Go ahead, Shazia, go ahead.
No, I disagree, Karthik. All the answers that even you gave, like the lady who's supposedly the queen pin, somebody you work with, queen pin of corruption.
This is where I object, Maria.
There is a system. There is a system in place. There is rule of law. Do not give political
you haven't
answers.
read the charge.
Please explain.
How do you know she was involved?
Please explain by K Kavitha what was she
doing?
Who
are we to explain?
What was her PA doing
and the
with the PA of Aam Aadmi Party, senior people, and what was the involvement of her in making and drafting of the policy, excise liquor policy, and how did she explain the ill-gotten wealth? That is the answer you want to give, which you're running away from. You give that answer. This is a political answer. This is a political answer. You can accuse anybody. The fact of the matter
nobody has given you the right to call Kavitha queen on television.
Why? What happened?
Who gave you the details to say so?
And that is a question you have to answer. What is
that question? May I know?
Pharma, Sameer Mahindra, Vijay Nair. These names ring a bell.
If she can
there
just
is evidence linking.
For a minute.
No. The fact is, no matter what we may say, Karthik Reddy, the fact is that Satyendra Jain has been in jail for 10 months. His FIR has not been quashed. The opposition leaders all of them have approached various courts of India. If they were to get relief, they would have got relief, including Mr. Manish Sisodia. The fact that he hasn't got bail means that there is enough evidence prima facie. Shashank, one moment now, please. With the amendments in the PMLA, Shashank, would you say that it has become even more difficult for accused?
Namaste Maria ji and every fellow panelist. Maria ji, there are 2 points. Being a lawyer myself, I believe that jail is an exception, bail should be the rule. And that is why I applaud the fact that police, or for that point ED, has not arrested any of the accused right after filing the FIR. So they took their own time and subsequently they have called them for investigation or interrogation, and then they filed, they arrested the accused persons. Now to your question, whether it is difficult or not, yes, it is very difficult.
Because the burden of proof of innocence has shifted. Now it is on the accused rather than the prosecution. So that is the reason why it becomes even more difficult.
No, so Supreme Court has clearly stated in its judgment when this particular thing was challenged before the Supreme Court and said that money laundering and generation, possession, concealment of tainted money is wherever these things are required, ED is not required to prove anything, and mere possession of proceeds in the crime is enough for the ED to integrate and arrest the said persons. Now the twin conditions are very simple. One, prosecution side will oppose it, and two, the judge will have
Shashank, the fact here is, let's look at what has happened in the last 1 year, because the Aam Aadmi Party is saying that there has been misuse of agencies. But had it been the misuse of agencies, then Mr. Satyendra Jain would have got bail. The Supreme Court and the courts of India are overseeing the agencies, right? They are ensuring that the agencies don't go overboard. It was the Supreme Court which said that the CBI had become caged parrot.
Fortunately, Indian judiciary is independent, and no panelist on this show or for that part any political party can say that judiciary is under a political party or a government. So in this particular case, yes, nothing has been quashed.
Okay, because there has been no quashing. Let me bring in now Sujata Paul. Sujata Paul, one thing is becoming clear, that this entire issue, particularly with regards to the Delhi Liquorgate, has exposed the chink in the armor as far as the opposition unity is concerned. The Congress party is on one hand, while the entire opposition on the other, because most of the cases is against the opposition leaders, and all of them have jointly written that letter. The question now is, will the Congress party actually say that the action against Ms. Kavitha or the questioning that the ED wants her for questioning, that should happen, because that's clearly the law taking its course?
You know, Maria, one thing is that I feel really sorry for the BRS spokesperson, because he said that, how do you know that she was involved? Exactly. How do you know that she wasn't involved? So my point is that we might be the opposition. We might be under the target of the BJP using all its agencies on us. But that doesn't mean that if there has to be investigation, we are going to stop that. Investigation must happen. And like the lawyer on the panel just mentioned, that if it is untrue, then there will be relief which will come from the Supreme Court also. But before that, even the ED, is it really going to take this forward if there is enough evidence produced by Ms. K Kavitha?
Okay.
That is for us to wait and watch.
Karthik,
So
the point being made here by Shashank is that though Mr. Manish Sisodia was accused number 1 in the CBI FIR, he was not named in any of the charge sheets so far. Because the CBI wanted to make a watertight case, that's the reason why he was called for interrogation and then custodial interrogation. They did not really rush through the entire case. In case of K Kavitha, the entire timeline begins in November. November 30th, she is named in the ED by the ED. Then questioned by the CBI. Then has been told to appear before the ED. So there is a timeline of investigation. None of the investigating agencies are really jumping the gun.
As you said, they planned it pretty well. You're right about it. They planned it well against Manish Sisodia, and they're planning it exactly well against Kavitha also. I heard both the panelists of the BJP and the Congress party speak, as they were asking me, how do you know she is not involved? I'm asking you, before you insinuate anybody into a crime, you should also be responsible enough to realize that you can't just throw names around on television and say she was the queen bee and she is involved and she's not. Nobody has made you people the judges also.
Okay.
And point 2, as Shashank just mentioned, and he should also agree, it also depends upon the charge sheets and the bail of propositions given by these agencies. If the agencies file a weaker charge sheet, if the agencies reject to the bail again and again, the courts are forced to keep these gentlemen or whoever it is in jail. Just because these guys are in longer time in jail, that doesn't mean they are culprits. And one more thing, there is one critical point that we all have to answer. There is a number which our leader KKR has given today. The number is called 5422. You know what is this number? These are the number of new cases and people probed by ED, CBI, and IT in the last 8.5 years.
And you know this is, if anything, central agencies being misused. And what the opposition says, including Mr. KTR. What about the Assam Chief Minister? He was probed by the CBI and ED in 2014-2015 with regards to Sharda Chit Fund.
So, Maria, with complete responsibility, I would not just like to ask you, as citizens, as fellow citizens, but also Karthik, does being a politician and being in the opposition, where center government goes, allow you to engage in corruption, to get ill-begotten wealth, and not having to answer that and make the only this charge that, oh, because we're in the opposition? How do you explain the connections? How do you connect the dots versus Amit Arora, Bon Pilli, or Aurobindo Pharma, and the Queen Pin?
How do you establish these claims,
Shazia? How do you explain? No. Let me finish. I'm not done yet.
How do you establish these claims? You cannot
say shout foul. Do you think you can just engage in corruption? And this is the cooperative federalism.
This is what I'm trying to tell you.
You and Kejriwal.
This is exactly my point.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Shazia Ilmi, Karthik Reddy, Sujata Paul, and Shashank Shekhar Jha. We are slipping into a short break. Up next, the Uniform Civil Code debate has been reignited after a Kerala couple gets remarried to protect the inheritance of their daughters from Sharia law.